So when it comes to dating here in the West, we already know there's plenty of problems with it. Like apparently there's so many problems that you even have the MGTOW movement, the men going their own way movement. But you also have, men just like completely stepping out of the dating scene, saying it's not worth it. Then you also have like the red pill dudes that are like, you gotta do this, this, and this. And you also have blue pill dudes that are like, you gotta treat women like goddesses and put them on pedestals or something like that. But then you also have people like the streamer Destiny, who was pretty much a blue pill person, and he was in an open marriage with his wife. Pretty sure she was from Swedish. Pretty sure she was from Sweden, and she was a Swedish wife. And then apparently, like, she was in this other relationship with this other guy from Sweden who was so toxic that he said, either you leave your husband for me or I will self-delete. And so now that blue pill Destiny guy is his relationship screwed. Like he's separating, and he didn't have a prenup or nothing. So he's screwed.
What's going to happen with monetary compensation? You just pay for not signing a prenup. I know that everybody's like really obsessed with this talking point. I don't think Mel is getting any of my money. We signed a postnuptial agreement. Our marriage was short term. We don't have any kids or shared assets. People are very, very, very interested in that, but no, there's nothing. There's no talk of she's never mentioned like wanting to fight for anything. We've already signed a postnuptial agreement.
But what about other countries? Oops. What about other countries? Huh? Like what is it like dating in like for other countries? Like anyway, let's check it out. What is good, everybody? My Paper Moon fam. It's your boy, PaperSin, aka the Hokage of the village. Hitting in that loud, you feel me? And got another reaction video for y'all today. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, this is what's wrong with dating and relationships in China. Well, that's what this one's titled anyway. And it's by the YouTube channel Aina, Expat in China. So yeah, we're gonna. She's obviously an expat in there. She's not from China, but she's probably been living there long enough to figure some shit out. So let's find out.
Dating in China is absolutely different from that in the West, and not always for the better. My name is Aina. I have been living in China for 4 years, and today I'm going to be talking about surprising facts and all truth about dating culture in China. I'm going to be talking about how Chinese people meet, which requirements they have for their partner, and which problems they frequently meet in their relationships. I'm not sure whether you'll be very surprised.
I'm not like, when it comes to like requirements, because like you hear at least here in the West, you hear a lot of the women's requirements for men is 666, the 6 foot, 6 pack, and 6 inches. So that's like generally what it comes down to, or not all the time, but apparently what you hear a lot of women say. So I'm curious as like what's the requirements and shit like that. I didn't even know Chinese women like. Of course they do. Never mind.
If I tell you that Chinese dating is very much influenced by the Chinese traditions. There is a concept in China, xiaoshun, which is translated as filial piety. It was introduced by Confucius, and basically his teachings were you have to follow the vertical hierarchy where the older generations have to be respected and the younger generation has to obey whatever the elders have to say.
So I'm guessing
and
it's
this
like
is why
you go
Asians
through the parents
who
to
were
get to
born
the
in
daughters?
these traditions of vertical hierarchy do not understand the Westerners who can even shout and swear at their own parents.
Oh, but sweetie, I don't think KFC and McDonald's is good for you. Did I ask for you to speak? Huh? When did I ask for you to speak, huh? Give me $30 now.
That's because we don't beat our kids anymore. Y'all don't beat your kids anymore. I said we. I have kids. I don't have kids. Too fucking young for that. But y'all don't beat your kids anymore. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's why they act like that. They all like, we shouldn't harm our kids. We shouldn't discipline our kids. Then you get kids like that. Beat your kids' ass. Take the belt off, beat their ass, and get them to act right. That's easy.
because Chinese people actually believe that since the day you are born, you owe your family all your life. And also in the ancient book, which is called the Classic of Filial Piety, it was advised for people not to shave, not to cut their hair, because it comes from your parents and that is why it has to be cherished. Interestingly enough, I have heard that that is why women do not even shave their public hair because they follow this tradition. I'm not sure how true it is, but then when you're 25 to 30 years old, especially if you are a girl, your parents will start to 催婚, which basically means to hurry to get married.
什么样的年纪好像是应该要结婚了？25岁到30岁之间吧，可能30岁在。
And girls are being hurried at that stage of life because if they are over 30 years old and they're still not married, then they're called a 剩女, which basically means a leftover woman.
Bruh. Imagine like women here in the West, like because they're all about, they want to focus on their careers, they want to do this, do that. Then they get a lot, like, well, all of them almost, well, I don't say, there's a lot of them that get past that age of 30 and then just like, and then they go and try to find, just start dating to be in general. Damn. So, and from the perspective of China, we have a lot of leftover women here in the West. Damn.
就像吃饭都是像了菜一样的。
just like leftover dishes.
What do you think, guys?
都是像了菜一样的。
It's like leftover dishes after a meal becomes something leftover.
What do you think, guys? Is it ethical to call women leftover? Alright, now it's time to talk about some responsibilities and expectations from each partner. And let's start with the males. Chinese men, before they get married, they actually have to build a so-called Chinese dream. Chinese dream is an American dream, is to buy a house and to buy a car even before your marriage. And the question is, how the hell a boy of 25 to 30 years old who just started working already can buy the most expensive real estate on earth, which is located in China? And the
well then, yeah, that doesn't make sense because like it's most expensive real estate on earth and located in China. And they're still young. They're just getting their career started and everything. It's already like, well, do they have debt in China? They probably do. So it's like, well, you better embrace that debt and buy a house or something. I mean, before you get married, I get it. It makes sense because like you want to be settled and everything. You want to have a spot or a home somewhere you can like raise a family before you even start getting married, before you start dating and shit like that. Makes sense. But yeah.
The answer is usually his parents and he himself, they get into huge debts. And on top of this, of course, guys are expected to have a stable job. But certainly some women, you know, still date the guys who do not meet those, you know, golden standards. But in those cases, usually their parents do not allow those girls, those precious daughters, you know, to date the guy who doesn't have a house or a car or a stable job.
Makes sense. Like parents trying to make sure their daughters don't end up with ain't shit dudes. I get it. I mean, honestly, I don't see any problem with that. But shit. Because here in the West, there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I doubt China has the issue of a bunch of single moms. Maybe, I'm guessing. Because if their, you know, parents are, I don't want to say hovering, but their parents are regulating, like kind of like stepping in, making sure that their kids aren't, you know, dating ain't shit dudes, or that the daughters aren't dating ain't shit dudes, and like their sons are actually, you know, focused on careers and getting good careers and stuff like that. What else we got?
Basically serves as So, what is this bride price for?
Bride
well,
price?
in modern realities, this bride price basically serves as the initial capital for the young family. You know, they have to live on some money in the first stages, right? So that's what it serves for. But according to the tradition, this bride price was usually given by the groom to the bride's family because daughters used to be a very helpful assistants in the Chinese household. So if, you know, you give away your daughter, if you marry your daughter, you would expect some money from the groom's family because you're basically giving away your worker.
Damn. So it's almost like in like the ancient, I don't want to say ancient times. I don't know. I don't remember how long ago this was, but like when they used to trade cattle for your daughter's hand in marriage. That's interesting. I don't know what to say about that, to be honest. I don't. What else we got? Oh.
For the role of women. Okay, things are getting more complicated here, okay? Women who right now are aged 20 and above, they are usually the only children in their families, and that is why their parents, of course, have great hopes and great expectations from those daughters.
Okay.
Not only they expect to successfully get her married, but also to have a successful career. That is why they invest heavily in their daughters. They educate them and then they force them, you know, to build a very successful career because later in life, who else will take care of those parents when they get older?
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Your parents take care of you when you're young. Somebody's got to take care of them when they're older. Like here in the West, a lot of people just like to be like, all right, nursing home. Like, damn, bro.
And I have to mention one very important characteristic of Chinese women because they can go into two different extremes. They can be whether very infantile or very childish, in other words, or they can get very aggressive. And sometimes you can meet both in one woman.
Whoa.
Chinese women have a very
Bipolar.
mighty tool in their hands. This tool can help them get out of any problem or of any conflict in their lives. And Chinese men adore this quality in their partners. And this quality is called sajiao.
Bruh. You mean the crocodile tears? Is that what that is? That's basically what that is. Crocodile tears?
Sajiao actually has no English equivalent because, well, it just doesn't exist in the West as it exists in China.
I guess not.
In the West,
exactly.
it's
more like...
kind of, you know, if you behave sajiao, it's mostly very, very cringy.
What the
I'll
fuck?
try to explain sajiao. In the West, it's kind of, you know, if you behave sajiao, it's mostly very, very cringy. I'll try to explain.
So it's kind of like acting like a spoiled pet or a spoiled like animal that doesn't want to do what you say. What?
Sajiao very quickly. Actually, dogs behave in a sajiao way. For example, they would break something in your house and then they would look at you in this sajiao way and you would immediately forgive them. I know I'll receive a lot of mean comments after this. Okay, and I also have to mention that some guys expect their girlfriends to call them 哥哥. 哥哥 basically means an elder brother, and you probably already...
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Cause I get it, cause I don't get it. But I mean, like in the West, there's like I know that some dudes like their girls to call them, you know, Poppy or Dad. You know, not like Dad, but like, you know, Poppy in like a sexy way. You know what I'm saying? If like some dudes be, I've had some friends that dated some Spanish chicks. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, I love my girl, call me Poppy and shit like that. But elder brother? All right, man. I don't kink shame. I don't kink shame. I believe everybody should indulge in all of their sins respectfully.
Already heard of the word oppa?
오빠라고 불러도 돼요?
In Korean, it also
what that
means
is?
elder brother. So Chinese people also love this word. For example, my ex-boyfriend, he would ask me a few times to call him Gaga. And when he first heard it, I literally remember his reaction. He was like, oh, wow, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I was like, I looked at him because at that time, it was for me literally a cultural shock. I was like, are you a pervert or something? Of course, I didn't say that, but that's what I thought. Another nickname boyfriends expect their girlfriends to call them is Baba, which is daddy. And I think it's not rare in the West as well. Every baby needs a daddy. Here, even if a guy is, like 5 years older, he would still expect you to call him Baba.
Asia. Asia.
Baba.
And here, I actually have a dirty secret that I'm keeping. I myself behave in a sajiao way. And before, I didn't even know I behave in a sajiao way in my own relationships until I started studying Chinese, and then I came across this word sajiao, and then I was like, wait a second, that is actually how I behave myself.
And I'm gonna say, wait a second, because isn't it more normal for people to study the language and culture before going to the other place, just so you have a feel for the language and culture, at least in some minor sense of having it down. That way, it's not like super culture shock. And she waited until that's cool. Do you boo boo? Let's see what else we got. Control.
It is very common for a girl to control every step that their partner makes.
That just made all the feminists that will ever see this clip or video giddy with glee. There it is, giddy with glee or something like that.
Example, you may be considering that, if a guy puts his girlfriend's photo as his avatar in his social media, you would think, okay, it's cute. Actually, it's not quite cute, and usually he is forced to do that. For example, his girlfriend might just take his phone and post her own pictures in his social media to show to other people that he belongs to her. And it is also quite common to see girls controlling their partners. For example, a guy just goes out with their friends or whatever, and a girl just, requires him, expects him to call her every hour, or to send her his location, or to send a picture, or to do a FaceTime, and so on and so forth.
Just to make sure you ain't stepping out of line. Just to make sure she knows where you at. Just to make sure. All right, well, it's obviously we're like halfway through. This is like 28 minutes total. We're only like 12 minutes in, and I keep stopping it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. As always, link to the video, link to the channel, both in the description below. So if you want to find out for yourself what the rest, or of what's wrong, quote unquote, wrong with dating and relationships in China, or I guess it's more like what the expectations of dating and relationships in China are, then link will be in the description below. So be sure to check out Aina, Expat in China. And while you're over there, don't forget to do those while you're over there visiting her channel, don't forget to do those 3 things that I like to ask you to do. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that. In case I don't see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace, and much love to you.